Hey, what's up guys, Chris Connor here and welcome to another Creatix Visuals tutorial. Let's take a look at what we're going to be creating today. Pretty awesome. Make sure you guys check the original video with all the VFX and the awesomeness out. And before we get started, I'll have 3 links in the description that I highly urge you guys to check out. One is the Creatix store when you can get awesome assets for your production. The second one is the Creatix Vault, which is our exclusive library full of projects like this one and dozens of other projects that include the LUTs used, the footage used, as well as the product samples used, so you guys can get some awesome access and get experience from. And the third one, which is new, is my gear list. You guys always ask me about what gear I use, so I created the most current gear and products that I use for you guys. So that will be in the link in the description. Click on it and it will take you to my list and where you can get it from. So with that said, fire up After Effects and let's get started. Okay guys, so here we are within After Effects and I just want to open my folder here. And again, this project is available in the Creatix Vault for you to access. And if I go back to the initial, you can see we have the LUTs pack, the project itself, as well as all the footage that was used. So what we're gonna need today is gonna be 2 clips that we're gonna combine to get that awesome sword reflection that you guys see here. And just a quick note, this technique was also used in an older video that was Sephiroth's Fire Inferno scene, and I used it to put a fire reflection in the blade of that sword as well, because a blade is a very reflective object and it looks cool when it actually reflects things, even though in this case it's a CGI scene. So with that said, let's take it step by step and see how we can create this scene. So this is my final composition here, just called Soul, and I have my VFX composition that we're gonna take a look at. And as you can see, if I open up transparency, it's just the 2 clips combined with some IVFX, and this is what we're gonna be creating today. All of this, the LUTs, the RGB edge split and things, as well as the fog, the cinematic fog and the particles, was shown in the previous tutorial. So I highly urge you guys to take a look at, because we already showed how to create this awesome darkness scene. So I'm gonna open my IVFX comp, and as you can see, this is just the clip, the 2 clips combined together with the eye color grade. And as you guys, if you've been with the channel for a long time, you know that eye visual effects is a big thing for me. And I'm just gonna quickly show you how to do this, even though it's a much simplified version from the awesome tutorial on the advanced eye VFX. So I'm gonna go to my reflection comp and show you guys what we have. I'm gonna isolate my first clip, which is just the footage. And as you can see, is the clip of me holding the katana and just twisting it to what I thought at the time would reflect my face, right? So what I did here, if I go to my effects comp, you can see we have nothing. And if I open my transparency, you guys can see that there's nothing behind, right? So here's what we gotta do. I pre-keyed this clip, which basically means I removed the green screen, right? And again, the previous tutorial shows you how to do that. So what I want to do is somehow take another clip and put it in this section of the blade and nowhere else. And actually, you know what? Let's take a look at the already done scene. So as you can see, guys, we have the eyes being reflected from the blade. But if I isolate this layer, you can see it's just this portion of the eyes that is visible, right? Whereas if I change this back to no track, this is what the original clip looks like, but this is what we want to achieve. So this is very easy actually, like it's shockingly easy, but you do need some things to make it work. So what I have here is my reflection clip. Where's my assets? This is it. This is my reflection clip, and if I duplicate it, put it to normal and change all the things, and I'm isolated, and then I'm actually gonna open it up and reset it to its original. Gonna go to effects, just so we can open it up and remove everything. So this is what the original looks like. I have the camera approximately 50 millimeters. I'm not sure the exact focal length I'd use at the time, but I just filmed from a lower angle my face, right? Because I knew that the sword is lower than my face, and therefore the camera's viewpoint would be lower than my face. So I filmed myself in front of a green screen again. I removed the green, and this is what I got. So I took this, you can see here, if I isolate my layer and turn off, and I rotated, scaled it down to approximately start fitting the blades. Can you see? So I took the clip, rotated, and start positioning it to where I thought it should look. It looks good, right? And I thought there the proportions of my face would be accurate and it would nicely represent the scene and make sense, right? Like if my eyes were super small or super big, it would not make any sense, right? But I think I found a good balance, and with the rotation we can match the angle of the blade. So what I did then is I duplicated my original layer with the sword, right? So this is what this layer is, and I'm gonna open it up. As you can see, it's exactly the same if I switch between the two. And then I put it on top of the reflection layer, and then I changed the alpha of that layer to alpha matte, which basically means it reads the original, the one layer that is on top of it, and it only shows the video clip where the on top layer exists. And because our top layer was green screened out and it has transparency, After Effects reads only the portions that it has an actual clip, because After Effects notes that there's nothing there. And as such, when we change the trackman to alpha matte, our reflection video only shows in the blade, which is pretty awesome, right? And here's the trick, guys. If you don't see this alpha selection thing, you can toggle the switch and it goes from here to here, and then you change the mode to alpha matte. But here's the thing, if I change the blending mode now to normal, you can see that it doesn't really look good, like at all, right? So here's what I did. Because as you can see, the original blade has this cool wavy blade thing where it's supposed to be sharp. We don't want to lose that. So simply by changing the blending mode of the layer that now reads our original clip and only shows the face on that blade, if we change this to screen, see how well it blends? Like, it almost looks too good based on how easy it is to achieve, right? And here's what I did then. Now we have this and it looks pretty good by itself. So what I did, I introduced a turbulent displace effect. If I open it up, and if I zoom here, you can see the difference off and on. So what this does is it distorts the original clip so it's not perfect. So as this is a blade and it's a reflection or a refraction of my face, it should not be perfectly shaped, right? So by doing this, I'm going to Effects, Distort, and Turbulent Displace, and this is what we got. And if I open this up, you can see these are my settings, but of course this depends on your scene, as two settings can never be the same. I'm gonna change the anti-aliasing to high. So what I did is I played with the amount and the size, and as you can see, the size is really small because I don't want to distort the image too much. I just want very small distortion in terms so that it's not perfect. And I did not animate the evolution of the displacement because it doesn't make sense, right? Like, it just distorts and that's it. It doesn't continuously changing the shape. And actually, foreshadowing in this one, I used the same technique in the Paragon concept that you've guys seen with the cyborg eyes to make the character look as if he's behind glass. So this is a very cool technique, guys, that you should have in mind when you do things like this. So then I had a simple curves adjustment to kind of play around with the overall brightness of the blade to match the other clip, and that is it. We are done, guys. Pretty cool. So what I did then, I select everything, pre-compose them so that I can work on the eye effects. And now that I'm looking at it, I could have easily first played with the face clip, change the eyes there, pre-compose it, and then bring it here to do this. But this way works as well, which is pretty easy. And like I said, guys, I've done so many eye visual effects that is just like second nature now. And in this one, I just really wanted to do something ultra simple, nothing like super far-fetched like some of the other things you've seen. So very simply, I had a null here, and I selected my clip, right-clicked, and tracked motion. And I just put the tracker into the eye, and I tracked the eye. And because the eye was not moving all over the place and the blade reflection was simple, it was a very easy track. I then parented that track to the null, and then I just had an adjustment layer that I had some effects like change to color from the original, some hue and saturation to increase that color, and then some final brightness adjustment. So if I turn them off, you can see we have nothing. If I change one thing, you can see we've changed the color, then we increase the saturation of the color, and then the overall brightness. Then I set it to screen because if it's normal, it looks kind of like that. Change the blending mode to screen, and that's it. Again, very simple, very straightforward, and a very awesome effect to pull off. Then we go to my final composition, which basically has the VFX comp, as you can see here, and now I'm start building so I can have my final grade. And again, like I showed in the previous tutorial, which you guys should check out, we have the cinematic fog as a background to fill up that darkness realm. We have the cinematic particles from the Cinema Particles pack that you guys can find in the store. And then we have my LUTs, and then these effects that we explained why we do them in the previous tutorial as well. And that's it, guys. I think it looks pretty awesome. I got awesome feedback from you guys, and yeah. Okay guys, so that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and you learned something. Make sure to check those links in the description, as well as the channel in general, for more awesome tutorials, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, stay creative.